Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Chris. Thank you for tuning in on this Sunday evening. I hope your weekend was great, and I hope it's shaping up to be a lovely Monday. I know Monday's usually the hardest day, with the exception of Wednesday, to get through the week. But I know that good things are on the way. I looked at the futures for the market. Looks like it's going to be another green day. So I'm pretty optimistic. Hopefully, it's just a ravaging Monday, Tuesday upward. And then we can kind of level off and see where we go from there. But I'm optimistic, and if I do happen to make some big gains, then I can turn it into real money, right? So something interesting I noticed yesterday when I was rewatching my own video was this guy over here, Canadian dollar from 39. And I was like, this is the pre-war years, which I'm a big World War II history nerd, so I love that stuff, read all about it ever since I was a kid. But what I didn't recall was that the king's on the back and not the queen. So kind of looks a little better than the queen does on her stuff. So pretty interesting, and something I hadn't seen. It seems like a lot of you on the East Coast, especially in the Northeast, get a lot of Canadian junk silver. We don't get that much down here in California. So every time I get a chance to purchase some, I try to, because it's actually very interesting to me. A lot of you pointed out ragtag stacking. Obviously, he's Canadian, so he puts us to shame with all his beautiful Royal Canadian Mint merchandise, and that's always interesting. Yesterday night, I was actually watching Potter's Stacking. That's a great channel that you should check out. He was actually coin roll hunting with his son through quarters, and I was watching. It was actually a live stream. It was actually really interesting. I know that for me it's hard because the only coin roll stacking or coin roll hunting I've ever done was to look through for silver coins, mostly quarters and dimes. I think I found one silver quarter in the entire time that I was looking through, maybe two, and a few halves, but not much success, especially considering that I had pretty much unlimited access to coin, customer rolled coin, direct from the reserve coin. And I never, had the time to really go through it, even though, not the time, but the sheer will to go through it and actually look at what was there. But that being said, I was looking through my items a few days back, and I noticed, I've got so many cool pieces that I remember, when I purchased these, that they really stood out to me, especially these kind of things that were in the display at the LCS. And I was like, you know what, I gotta have that. I want it. And it kind of reminded me that when I was watching Potter's Stacking, that when I was a kid, we had all kinds of different hobbies: baseball cards, Pogs. Do you remember Pogs? I know you remember going to the Pog store and spending tens of dollars on slammers and worthless pieces of paper that flipped over that you collected, and your friends had their tubes and you guys would bust them out. I know you remember that. But little dumb things like that. And I always think to myself, what if someone had told me, hey, you know what, maybe for your birthday money, you turn it into a piece of gold or some silver or something. So I wish I would have learned those lessons early on. But that being said, I think it's a great thing to go through your, coin rolls, or just build that understanding of that there's value there with your kids or with your nieces, nephews, whoever it is. Even your coworkers and people like that, you're always going to see the naysayers. But if you come across people who are big naysayers on gold and silver, you can give them the same lecture that people gave, cryptocurrency. 10 years ago, people laughed at crypto. People, honestly, to be honest, I've always been in the field of finance for quite a while. But I remember a decade ago, when I was first reading about Bitcoin, really trying to understand what is it, because I'm not much of a computer geek. But I did kind of understand that, this is what they were trying to do with it. And, here we are a decade later, and, nobody laughs at Bitcoin, especially when it was at 60,000. Nobody was laughing then. If you had taken the time, thrown a few $100s at it, who's laughing now? So little things like that are lessons. You can't go back, you know what I mean? And this is what I really think about. I would say the only one I don't believe in right now is tokens or NFTs. I'm not big on that because I think they're trying, to come up with anything for people to throw money at. But even that being said, like, hey, if you know something about it more than I do, and you think that there's value there, if you can, why not? You know what I mean? Like, you can only look back with regret. If it's a small amount, $50, $100, you would have gone and spent that on Wingstop or Domino's, or, well, if you're like me, you might have spent that at Wingstop. I'd like to get that 20-piece combo with a couple extra fries. Yeah, sorry, that's just what I do. But I mean, these are the kind of things that can really take you to the next level, and that's the same thing with, like, precious metals. People don't understand it. People are gonna mock it. People are gonna laugh at it. It is what it is. I mean, you kind of have to have thick skin. The other part of it is, it's just like Fight Club, right? You can't tell anybody about it. You can't be like, hey, I've got this or that, blah, 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 unless you're anonymous on YouTube. Then you can tell whoever you want. But it's one of those things that, if you could really pass that value on to someone else, I honestly think that later on they come back and they're like, hey, thanks for telling me about that. I know it's been that way for me with investing. A lot of people that were naysayers about the market and this and that, it's going to crash, blah, 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 blah. In my everyday life, I always try to help them invest. Not that I handhold everyone, but at least I can explain to them, this is what it's about. This is how you do it. This is why you should be investing, this kind of thing. I take the time to explain. And so even things like this, like, look at this box full of coins, you know what I mean? All this different stuff that's in here, all of this stuff that's jammed in here. This is just one of my many treasure boxes that I have. And I purposely do that so that, I don't get a big head about what I've got. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, it's just value. Just value. Simply value there. But, even there's only so much that this can do for you. Like anything else, look at Steve Jobs, the richest guy on the planet at one point, right? And what happened to him? He got tapped out by his health. So even precious metals at the end of the day are not going to save you from everything that life can throw at you. But what they can do is at least give you a little bit of peace of mind to go through your day and tell yourself, like, hey, you know what? Like, at least I'm participating in these things. You know what I mean? I was watching, Silver Stack Prepper's, where he picked up that camper for the bar of gold. Pretty impressive, pretty interesting. Who doesn't love that kind of thing, to see an actual transaction with a gold bar? You know what I mean? Who does that? Nobody does that. The fact that he was able to pull off that purchase. I know Uneducated Economist did a trade for silver on a car, I think a while back. But these kind of things are the lesson that this is how it could really work. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing, like I said, with cryptocurrency, other things that I know a lot of stackers are naysayers of. That's fine. I mean, I'm not here to convince you that it's better than anything or this or that, because it's not. It's whatever works for you. And you know what I mean? I can't tell you what that is. I can only tell you that the best thing that you can do for yourself is at least familiarize yourself with what's out there, so that, you have flexibility. I mean, if something comes up that I need this money, and the way life is, that could happen, I'm not going to hesitate. I'll liquidate everything. I'll liquidate what I have to liquidate. You know what I mean? I'm not going to cry over it. Why? Because I know I can get it back. I know that I can purchase my metals back. Will it kind of make me sad if I have to get rid of, certain pieces that are a little bit more special to me than others? Yeah. But that's exactly why, I don't keep the running total, so that I don't get ahead of, this is how much I've got, this is how much I've got to lose. No. If that date came where I needed to liquidate, hey, you know what? I'll look through everything. I'll put a few special pieces aside, which could be the dumbest things. It could be this guy right here. It could be, these proof eagles. It could be anything. If it means something to me and I'm like, hey, you know what? $20 isn't going to make the biggest difference, especially right now with spot being what it is. Isn't going to make a big difference between, having and not having. I'm going to keep some. And then, you know what? When good times are here again, I'm going to go rebuild that stack. And it's going to be just as fun as the first time I built it. So when I see things like, Potter stacking, showing his son about coin roll hunting and, building that awareness, even if his son later on, turns around and says, hey, I'm not really into that anymore. The bottom line is, at the end of the day, he has that knowledge that he can fall back on at any time that, most kids his age don't have. So I really think that's special. I think that's awesome. And if you get a chance, go check out his channel. Like, he did that live stream. That was pretty fun. It was pretty fun to watch. They were looking for one particular coin. They didn't end up finding it, but who knows? The next box could be the one. So, you know, little things like that are what that make the spice of life. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. Like I said, it looks like it's going to be a great day in the market tomorrow, but let's not count our chickens before they hatch. And I will see you soon. Take care.